Good evening and welcome. Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow coming to you live from the Center for Spiritual Loving here in Granada Hills, California. We're located in the North San Fernando Valley, a place where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. We're delighted to have you here with us this evening. Joining us online, we're glad to have you joining us here in the house as well. Where we're joined by one of our practitioners here, the wonderful Vinu Alag. And so as we get settled here in the house as well, and if this is your first time joining us, why don't you hit that subscribe button while you can, and you can join us later as well. All right, so let's all bring the lights down just a wee bit as we take a deep breath together and release. And in that release, just allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal moment, to allow ourselves to anchor in this moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this evening. So as Vinu lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. The second candle we light for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course within our own hearts. And as Vinu lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God.
As we go within, getting still, knowing there is just one mind, one presence, one universal consciousness flowing to and through each and every one of us, knowing that we are each unique and perfect expressions of this divine, one with all that is, one with love, one with stillness, one with that still small voice within that is our wisdom, our intuition, our knowingness. I recognize right here and right now that each of us is here by divine appointment, whether online or in person here in the sanctuary. That this is a gift for each one of us to get still, to go within, to connect to our source, to our truth, to the love, to that which we are. Knowing that as this hour unfolds, it unfolds with ease and grace in perfect order. I'm so grateful to know these truths, so grateful for each and every person joined here tonight, for our talented AV team that helps us keep this going for the world outside of these four walls, for Reverend Mike, who guides us each and every week with love, wisdom, and strength, and for all who are gathered here this evening. It is with this full and grateful heart I release my word to the law, knowing it is all love, knowing it is already done. And together we affirm this by saying, and so it is. Welcome everyone to Wednesday night meditation here. I'm Vinu Alag, one of the new practitioners. I thought tonight I would continue talking about our topic of the month, which is love out loud. At first I thought, if people are coming every Sunday, they might be like, another talk on love, another talk on self-love. But really, is there enough talk on love? I don't think so. Ernest Holmes says, love is the grandest healing and drawing power on earth. It is the very reason for our being. No one can swing out into the universal without love, for the whole universe is based upon it. From the Science of Mind. The whole universe is based upon it. It is that which we breathe. It is that which we speak. It is that which we are. And yet, how often do we forget? How often do we forget that I am an embodiment of love, expressing outwardly and inwardly? I was reminded this past weekend, I had cousins visiting from New York, and one of them brought his new 10-month-old baby, who I met for the first time, and it was love at first sight. Instant, pure joy, instant connection. She did not have to do anything to earn my love. She did not need any forgiveness to get my love. It was just connection. And it ran both ways. We know when we are with babies, there's just this pure love that emanates from them. They're just this being that with this contagious laughter, contagious smiles, and that's who we once were. They are a reflection of what we were when we came into this world. Perfect, pure expressions of love. And don't get me wrong, we are still that. It's just now we have these veils that we have to remove, right? Sometimes we have to just remember, why am I acting like this towards that person? Why am I reacting like that towards that person? Why am I acting like that towards myself? When I was playing with this baby, I thought, all those things I just listed, the things she didn't need to do to earn love, I am the same. Can we be like that with ourselves? Can we be gentler with ourselves? Can we be softer with ourselves? Can we love ourselves just a little bit more than we did yesterday? Because when we love ourselves more, when we walk out into the world, we are even greater loving beings than we were to begin with. Sure, we can go out and love people without fully loving ourselves. But how much more love can we give to others when we embody that? When we show, I trust, I love, I own this for myself. Then how can anyone else question your love when they see you walking as that expression? Mary Oliver says, she gives a little bit of wisdom in her poem, to begin with the sweet grass. And what do I risk to tell you this, which is all I know? Love yourself, then forget it. Then love the world. I'm going to repeat that. Love yourself, then forget it. Then love the world. I don't think she was implying that it's just so simple that you can just say, I love myself and forget it. I think she means we don't have to struggle. We don't have to work so hard. We don't have to convince ourselves we are worthy of that love. It's instantaneous. That knowingness, that connection to source, that connection to love, that connection to that truth that we are happens in a moment if we allow ourselves to be receptive. And that's it. Then we just let go and go out into the world. Thank you. Before I pass the light on to Reverend Mike, I have a few announcements. Practitioners are available today in the treatment room for a 2-minute tune-up. If you're a licensed practitioner, please raise your hand. These people are available for you today. If you are joining us this weekend and would like prayer support, you can find our practitioner online at CSLGH.org. Bereavement Support Group meets Sunday, September 24th at 1 p.m. on Zoom. Email Reverend Jessica for details. Join us here for SUM Full Moon Meditation Ceremony, Thursday, September 28th at 7 p.m. with guest speaker and musician Ray Davis. Bring your percussion instruments. You can find the SUM Zoom link in the newsletter. So that's not tomorrow, it's a week from tomorrow. Brunch with the Rev Potluck will be on October 8th after second service. Please join us for food, fellowship, and a wonderful performance from our very own choir. Come sit and have a chat with Reverend Mike. Sign up for your potluck dish in Sparks Hall or contact Melissa. If any of you have not been to our potlucks, please join us. They are so much fun. It's a chance to connect. It's a chance to be with people longer than the hour we have here on Sunday service, and breaking bread is always a beautiful thing. Save the date, Fall Gratitude Festival, Saturday, November 4th. Email Kathy for info. This is our annual festival, and it's a wonderful event also. We have music, food, dancing, and again, another way to connect with each other now that we're getting back more into the world. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so the Fall Festival is open to everyone as well, so please come and have some fun with us. There was music and dancing and moving to the grooving and the whole thing. So this week I just wanted to share one of my fancy birthday gifts I got last month. It says, Inhale, Exhale. It's from one of our online meditators. Pretty fancy, huh? Yeah, very nice. And I was going to take this thing up, but it says it's illegal. But I may live dangerously later. But there's a couple lawyers in the house now. I might be safe. All right. So anyway, it's good to have all of you joining us here this evening. And nice job, Vinu. Thank you for kicking it off. In 12-step, they talk about there's a line, obviously, you cannot give away something you haven't got. And, love is kind of that way. And I have to say it's an idea that I did not really appreciate as much as, well, I didn't appreciate it at all, really, until I got into ministry. One of the things about ministry is that it really is the best seat in the house, because you get to watch people go through their stuff and get on the other side of it. And then hopefully, I heard once that wisdom is watching people go through their stuff and then you learn something from it, right? So that you don't have to do it. But what I've come to see is that the kind of love that you're talking about is a love that has a sense of wholeness around it, that is free of any kind of need for grasping or looking. We had a discussion last night in our class about, remember that old movie, Jerry Maguire, when, right, he's Renee Zellweger, and he said, "You complete me," right? So at the time, I remember thinking, wow, that's pretty romantic. I don't know that I could ever say that, but that's pretty romantic. But now I kind of, boy, it just really seems kind of codependent today, right? Looking back at it, as someone who's, I've probably tried just about every available remedy when it comes to finding, keeping, love, manipulating, trying to power through it. And I guess it's a gift of ministry, is just when we engage with our spiritual practice enough, when we become willing to own our own stuff and be free of judgment around it, when our meditation practice becomes strong enough to where we find we're responding rather than reacting, when we do enough spiritual mind treatment, which is praying in an affirmative way to think in a different way so that our actions shift and that we also draw to us that which we need to live a more effective and joyous life. We come to see that underneath all of that is love. That love really is the power that's propelling all of it. And then the thing that's interesting about that is love is one of those things that you have to give it away to keep it, right? And because it really is about engaging with this law of circulation in a way where, as we remain open-hearted and find ways to practice loving kindness with others, free of expectation of reciprocity, we find that it comes back to us, and often in other places. And for myself, I don't know how this works for you guys, but in my own experience, it has demonstrated itself as a general sense of well-being just moving through my day. And it hasn't always been that way in life. So, we spend so much time talking about love, thinking about love, writing about love, watching love stories, listening to love songs. And a lot of that stuff is well, I'll just say what I'm thinking. a lot of it's kind of a con job for surface stuff, right? That has within it, fleeting moments of connection that aren't lasting, because then it's really kind of a fix, right? I was thinking about that listening to Beatles songs today, right? And I'm thinking, God, I love these songs, but God, no wonder I thought the way that I thought about dating and romance and so forth, right? So it's so the practice. I agree with you, Vinu. It really is, as we become more comfortable in finding ways of practicing loving kindness with each other, that really is going to be the thing that shifts this whole expression of life, right? So it's the thing that will make us, be more careful with our use of resources, be more careful with the way that we talk about each other, be more careful with the way we structure our, our policies and laws living with each other, which will be a demonstration of the way that we're relating, within our personal relationships, our families, our communities, our church communities, right? The whole thing. So, there was a guy who showed up a couple thousand years ago who said there was 2 great commandments and they both were rooted in love, right? So it's not a new idea, and I don't know why it's so difficult to practice. But I think it's because we're just afraid to do it fiercely and courageously, because you have to be vulnerable. So here's kind of a cool poem tonight. I'm dedicating this poem to Reverend Kathy Lyons, and you'll see why in a minute. So Reverend Kathy Lyons is our mistress of animal ministry here at our center, and it's entitled Landlocked in Fur. So for Reverend Kathy and any other cat lovers. Evan. Landlocked in Fur. I was meditating with my cat the other day, and all of a sudden she shouted, "What happened?" I knew exactly what she meant, but encouraged her to say more, feeling that if she got it all out on the table, she would sleep better that night. So I responded, "Tell me more, dear." And she soulfully meowed. Well, I was mingled with the sky. I was comets whizzing here and there. I was suns in heat. Hell, I was galaxies. But now look, I am landlocked in fur. To this I said, I know exactly what you mean. What to say about conversation between mystics? So that's one of the things that we kind of get a sense of in meditation is that we do kind of feel locked inside this body, right? So we can have a sense of expansiveness. Nothing's changing, but we have a sense of expansiveness within our interior, right? And so let's maybe bring our attention to that this evening. Let's just see if we can, through, of course, your meditation is going to take you where it's going to take you, but we can enter it into the focusing our awareness on the expansiveness within. All right. So let's just take a deep breath and release. Just we're following the breath. and the movement of the breath in the nostril. And as we bring our attention to the movement of the breath in the nostril, the mind begins to still. Now see if you can detect the movement of the breath on your upper lip. Just breathing easily and naturally. Tummy rising and falling. The inhale, the exhale, the ebb and flow. As we do a scan of the body, if we find places where there is tension, we can take a deep breath and breathe into that place and then exhale. And you will feel, on the exhale, you will feel it unwind and then return back to the movement of the breath in the nostril. If we find we get hooked by a thought thread, just bring our awareness to it, acknowledge thinking, take a breath, and release. There is no hurry, there is no place to be, there is no place to get to. Be here now. Taking a deep breath together then. And release, feel the release, the surrender, the releasing, as we move into the silence now for about 15, 20 minutes. gently back into the room, staying with the breath, working with this awareness of space within. Staying with the breath, knowing that we are breathing in the very light of the Spirit that's everywhere present. Breathing into our heart center. We see that flame of the divine within. Fanning this flame now with our conscious awareness of its presence. This flame growing into a ball of light now. A fiery light that illuminates rather than consumes. That expands with each inhale. Continuing to fill, imagining the light filling the interior, the space within. So from our heart center to the inside of our skin, one light body. Growing in brilliance, in radiance. There's the light of love itself. Attuning, aligning with every atom, every molecule. Every muscle, every organ is vibrating now with the light and love of Spirit. At any places within, with any tension, discomfort, we take a deep breath and release that, knowing this light, this healing power of light, this healing power of love is filling the space with an awareness of the healing energetic of love itself. Staying with the breath, breathing into the heart center, now breaking through and realizing we are now resting in this field of light and love extending beyond our body, torso. Mingling with our friends here in the center, extending even beyond time and space. This energetic of light and love is bound by nothing. So we feel a conscious connection within, a conscious connection with our fellows, both here in the room and online, and those joining us later. So in creating this awareness of the light and love of Spirit that's always there, we experience a sense of unity with it. And from this place of conscious unity with the One, we now bring our cares, concerns, intentions, aspirations, and taking a breath and release, just releasing it to that aspect of the mind of the divine itself that knows only to say yes as the law of its own being. So we know then, each within our own way of knowing the universal truth that God is, that there is but one power, one presence, one source, one life, a living intelligence, the infinite heart of the Most High that is both impressing and expressing itself in, through, and as life, and in, through, and as our life. So we know that in this way our body temple has been shifted and lifted into ways of expression of greater health, vitality, flexibility, and strength. That our mind is open to new, dynamic, creative ideas, that we are allowing the creative impulse of life to impress within us, within our conscious memory, within our subconscious memory, new and creative and dynamic ideas that have within them the solution to any seeming challenge that may be pressing us. That we know that these ideas are easily activated and embraced, either as we move away from this meditation this evening or even within the dream state tonight. So we take a deep breath, releasing that. So we know for our relationships, whether on the job, in the home, within our community, be it local, national, global, that all of it is a law of circulation of love itself, of the Spirit playing hide and seek with itself as we have this experience that we call life, that we know and understand as we stay attuned to it, that we see its full and complete demonstration in ways great and small. This moves us to an awareness of grace and power in our life that we consciously bring into our daily experience. So we take a deep breath and just release all of that which doeth the work, the mind of the Most High, bound only by the law of its own being, which too is infinite. And so as we leave here tonight, for those of us here in the sanctuary, we arrive home in safety and in good order. And for all of us as we make our way through the rest of our evening, finding our way to our beds, that as our head hits the pillow, we drift off easily and effortlessly to sleep, a sleep that is deep and sound and restful and full of sweet dreams, that we awaken feeling restored, revitalized, with a sense of vim and vigor and an excitement for life that helps to propel us through our day, both bearing witness and expressing the light of Spirit as loving kindness for all. So one more final release, and let go, and just let it be so. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. To this I said, I know exactly what you mean. What to say about conversation between mystics. And so it is. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for nice having some folks here in the sanctuary this evening. Didn't Vinu do a nice day? Oh, I'm over here. Do a nice job, excuse me. And it was a nice day as well, I'm sure. And for those of you joining us at home, again, if it's your first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you hit that little bell, you'll get a notification where you can join us at 10:30 where we will be live streaming our Sunday service, a little different gig with music. This Sunday with Teresa James, who I understand had an outstanding outing on Friday night with her CD release party. Did you make it over there for that? Yeah, so, and how was your full moon meditation gig? Yeah, I heard it was really good. And so next Thursday for the full moon meditation, Ray Davis, friend of the community, and himself an outstanding musician as well. So a lot of stuff going on. Check out our constant contact to keep in touch, and look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, know that you are loved. Peace and blessings, and we'll see you next time.